It's an interesting build on Mirana position 4, by the way, starting with 6 tangos, 3 branches, Fairy Fire, and a stick. So you don't really hurt a lot with your right clicks this way, but there's a ton of sustain.
Well, we'll see if the sustain is enough, and then you've got the matchup we were talking about. DK against the Puck, Karl against Mikoto. Mikoto popping off last game. And really, it feels like when he pops off, he's just carrying the game by some of the times.
It can definitely happen. You remember the Storm game, the last Puck game, multiple Storm games actually, where he just carries on his own. The thing is, though, in a game such as this one, you can't really see a target that he jumps on, dream coils, and kills off on his own. Mirana and Disruptor supports are that, but cores, they're naturally very tanky. The top lane, though, this is a lane that can go either way. Disruptor is a hero that can kill Khezcute. You might even see a first blood here.
Yeah, Hyde on the run, Thunder Strike and a right click enough to get the kill. Whitemon, the position 5, getting first blood.
Yeah, so the problem for Khezcute is you usually start like this, you buy boots, right? And you're the fastest hero in the game, but your HP is so low. Like your health pool is 500. Thunder Strike is the hardest hitting nuke, level 1. So all he has to do is just spam it on you. Look at that. He's
half health already. Charges up and Illuminate. That hits on a Whitemon. FBC. You get one? No, he can't.
Wow. I actually, yeah, that's something. That's something. Usually it blocks 5 times if he's hitting me, but in 4 hits, by the way. But yeah.
I'm never lucky against the percentages. It's just not one of those things that I've maintained some luck with. Thunderstrike, JaCkky putting some harassment on an FBZ. It's so much harassment up top. This lane's going really well at the moment.
Yeah, Skellies are zoning FBZ pretty much right now.
What can I do in return?
When it comes to the other lane, Puck, yeah, so far keeping up with Karl. Once Karl gets that double bracer, this lane is just so easy for him. Yeah. He can't be zoned out, he just farms away. Only thing he has to be careful with is those first Dragon Knight forms that he uses them around his teammates once he tries to push. Because sometimes it happens, you use that form, you try too hard to push the tower and then you get punished by rotations.
Yeah, and we've seen Karl be punished before. He was able to kill Mikoto early last game, but then he tried to get another kill under the tower and that led to him dying. And that changed the complexion of the game so much when Mikoto was able to get that early kill. Because the lane looked like it was getting one-sided.
Yeah, the lane in the CS way was kind of whatever, even-ish, but getting that solo kill obviously did give Ember an oomph. Then Mikoto hitting back, getting that level 6 before.
Is that one though? He'll survive.
He just started with incredible amount of regen on this bottom lane. You're playing into a Lich, so it's understandable. Nice frost shield there by Khezcute, stopping the salve on the Mirana. Also, the sentry that you see here is really important.
Arrow, one, Starstorm in, and a kill on the Khezcute T1, now up to nothing.
Drew might have been able there to clean up, like if he moved in a little bit earlier. But the Fairy Fire and the Magic Wand on Mirana just helping Xepher get that kill.
Yeah, and it's constantly just the aggression again on both these side lanes so far from T1.
That top lane has been back and forth, right? Like they push in a little bit with the Khezcute, then you get hit back by Disruptor and Wraith King. I think mid lane we should not see a kill unless something really goes badly by one of these guys. Like Khezcute maybe dives the tower, gets stunned. Karl, I just don't see him back at all. Now has a wand too.
To get the kill on to the DK, the 4-minute mark where rotations normally happen has come and gone. So 5-minute bounty runes.
Top lane.
Ooh, going after Hyde.
When you're talking about those rotations, it's more likely that Dragon Knight kills the farm with the Mirana rotation, let's say. than the other way around, because who's gonna rotate mid? Mikoto? Lich? This is why the panel did not like these two supports. Which one of these supports does anything post-laning stage?
It seems like they're just glass, or well, food.
They truly are.
No.
It's tough to find the right positioning. We've seen Liches, even with a lead, still struggle. Khezcute, yeah, he's gonna offer Frost Shield, but at times that feels like that's it. That's it.
It's kind of nice versus the 4, right? Versus Beastmaster. Yeah.
Going down to Whitemon again. Like that, it's just these supports feel super weak against what T1 are throwing their way. Kuku getting chased by Drew, but really, it's harassment he can handle, and this lane is probably not going to get easier for him, especially once that Necrobook's picked.
Yeah, it's not definitely getting easier because Mirana starts hitting you harder and just starts spamming you. You always arrow the Karti, you push in. Lich can't sustain himself any longer on that lane, so unless they rotate the Kotal in as well, eventually this tower will fall. But the problem is, how do you rotate Hyde away from top lane? The moment you do that, FBZ is
just what I've been waiting.
Unless he gets a opportunity to swashbuckle Rolling Thunder away, like, but that's it. Like you're going away and you're giving up the lane to JaCkky and Whitemon. You move the Coddle out of here. So it's already seeming a bit tough. It's a 1K lead right now for T1. Obviously, we talked about the DK mid who just gets stationary and farm up and feel comfortable throughout unless there's massive rotations in, which, again, like you said, you can't rotate these supports away.
And can you really rotate the puck away? That's also the question, right? Because Mikoto, he's been stunned, but he should be fine here. My point is, the moment you leave the lane as a puck, that tower is gone. You can't do it versus a Dragon Knight, right?
Right.
But you want to be rotating. You want to be extremely active early on as a puck.
And he's not really going to have that opportunity.
At least what he's doing is he's out pushing the wave, then farming some jungle. So he's maximizing his presence on this mid lane, what he can do at least.
Radiant's middle tower is under
he'll
attack.
rotate bottom. Rolling Thunder comes in. Top of it. Drew just surviving with 20 health. Going through Xepher, spinning around in a circle, finally latches on and kills him off.
Got him.
If Drew dies there, that rotation from FBZ feels really bad.
I think this is a nice move from them, because the PL doesn't want to stay bottom anymore, as he's not optimizing his farming patterns and they're pressuring him. So you rotate the offlaner down bottom to defend, while PL goes perhaps into the triangle, perhaps top lane. The problem is, you have this Pango who's not really able to pressure top, right? So you can't play that normal game of rotations in which we're gonna take your tier 1, you take ours, we pressure your jungle, you pressure ours. They can't do that unless Puck makes some magic movements.
It's already put Drew into the jungle. Seems like a difficult situation for him to be in
Radiant's
the
top
jungle.
tower is under attack.
Which, does that lead to your towers going down? Like, does Beastmaster have the opportunity right now to...
No, not really.
Kinetic field not gonna land, but they have the Wraith Fire Blast, so Hyde he's dead easily again. JaCkky with another kill. Khezcute trying to defend the tier 1 tower, or pressure this DK a little bit.
Yep. Normally, back to your question, if you do rotate the safe laner to the jungle this early on, and no one is pressuring the enemy tier 1 or top lane, you can lose your own. But because of Pango staying bottom, it's a little bit more difficult for T1 to just capitalize on that. Plus, Puck also rotated bottom early. They are securing PL's farm, but they're getting more out of the map on the side.
And that's evident in, you know, there hasn't been much of a skirmish yet, but almost strictly farming T1.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Does seem like all over. They're getting more out of the map.
Any stacks on both of these sides? Not really.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's courier has
9
been
health.
killed.
Finally dies
Cool.
to Xepher.
Dire's top tower
There's
is
a
under
Dragon Knight
attack.
rotation down bottom.
Illusion!
And they've got 4 heroes near, and they are going to rotate in
Dire's
Hyde.
middle tower is under
But
attack.
Karl
I'm not
show
sure.
himself.
Structures are fortified.
Prize is mine.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to be here.
Whitemon up towards top, though, getting chased by Drew. He's surviving for now, but back over bottom. Primal Lord moves. They get on FBZ. Mikoto comes in, drops the Dream Coil onto this Beastmaster. Kuku trying to survive. He's leashed up for a couple seconds longer. One more right click gets the finishing blow. End up losing FBZ, who does buy back. But they still lose the tier 1 over bottom, and all they get out of that is a Beastmaster kill. The buyback is going to slow down FBZ's game.
Yeah, that buyback instantly met by a tip by Kuku.
Radiant's middle tower
And he
is
didn't
under
lose way
attack.
too much. It's an early buyback. What really matters is after you die. You know, that first death after buyback with the increased timer hurts you more than the actual gold that you spent right now, as you farm away on the lane anyway. By the way, Disruptor managed to juke the PL on the top lane while that was happening, and he TP'd bottom, but he wasn't there on time. If he was there on time, they could even take a big fight with Static Storm, with Roar, with everything.
Mikoto going boots of travel this game. So not that Witchblade route that we saw previously.
It's an interesting choice. This kind of a build makes you more active on the map, and perhaps you can answer these Beastmaster and Dragonhead pushes a little bit easier, because you can just deep into the lane where they are while you're, let's say, split pushing top, and then defend your tier 1s.
So we'll see if it works out that way. JaCkky's just had an open moment where he's almost level 10. He's almost got that Sacred Relic. He's going to be moving into this Radiance very quickly. He sits ahead of this PL by over 1,000 gold. Like, he's finding farm around the map. They need to slow him down, and it looks like Boom are going to try to do just that. They smoke up bottom. Not too far away are his teammates for JaCkky, but didn't get the kill quick enough. I'm not even sure that it'll be in.
It's a really
Moonlight Shadow, they've got the Dream Coil, and now the rotations are coming in from T1. Get through that first life off the Rolling Thunder, but now it's already time for Boom to leap. Khezcute's die to the skeletons, they'll bring in the Disruptor, they look over as 2. One blocked out by the kinetic field, the arrow is not going to land on the Pangolier, but they still get the kill on FBZ. They'll take out Hyde, 2 heroes gone, and all they get from that is just the first life out of the hands of this raid game.
And they really hate FBZ. That tip, once again. He's dead for 60 seconds, by the way, after that kill. And
That's a long time.
And this is a tier 2, perhaps. Pressure, perhaps even gone. Let's see. Okay, they don't have the Necros. The Skellies are out. They have to go back a little bit.
They're
Dire's
just
top tower is
cleaning
under
up in a
attack.
fight. It's a lot of commitment just for the first life of JaCkky.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were expecting there. Maybe they thought he didn't skill it yet. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah,
but,
you hold a point.
But usually you just hold a point and you can still do it, right? That's the thing. Very interesting that they attempted. They also saw his teammates around mid, so they thought, okay, this is our chance. He's very far out. Maybe
Took too long to get the kill, though, right?
way too long. I mean, Lich died to the Wraith King alone. His skeletons just killed Lich.
And obviously, JaCkky going into the Radiance, he'll eventually need that shard.
Radiant are
because
scanning.
PL's got the defusal. So that's 1,300 gold that'll have to be invested in the future. And maybe an opportunity in between this Radiance and this defusal, or in the Radiance of the shard, while having the defusal is an opportunity to kill JaCkky if it doesn't mean.
Yeah, that's pretty much 6 minutes from now. Even if you wanted to buy it, you can't, right? It's shards come up online on 20-minute mark, so you'll have to wait that. There are some ways to play against the PL that don't include the shard, and the main point is the magic wand. Like, if you're a Wraith King player and you don't buy a magic wand, I don't understand you. So he has that. He's going to pop it when he loses his mana, and then you can just use the ulti off of it.
Coil again. Radiance down onto the Disruptor. Static Storm committed. He's going to die as 4 heroes are over here. FBZ joins in. Who gets the kill on a Whitemon? Alright. Well, Static Storm, not the worst cooldown. So, right clicks coming through as well as the arrow. That lands. Starstorm finish for Khezcute.
Yeah, I just don't see these two supports doing a lot on the side of Boom. That's their biggest issue right now. Like, you have Pug with Dream Coil, you have Pango with his Rolling Thunder, but the supports literally contribute nothing. Like, these two, you can't play around them.
Right.
I'm not trying to like speak badly of the players or anything. It's just that in a game such as this one, all you can do is def and wait. Wait for PL to become big.
Trying his darnest to do so. Diffusal has that Blade of Alacrity going into Manta, almost finishing off the Yasha afterwards. But if that even ends up being enough, you've got Karl going into the BKB. Beastmaster still working on that Necro 3.
Yeah, you have a Vessel on Pango. That's also a pretty big thing. Now with this Vessel, you might be able to take down, let's say, a Dragonite. Negates all that region.
Xepher's working with a lot of farm. He's got a Vanguard building into a Crimson Guard.
Yeah, okay. Alright. I actually did not check Mirana's items, but this is... Let's just see if he dies here. They're eyeing him. Yeah. Okay, so this is the build versus PL, right? Like, this is what you want to go for. It's not necessarily the best item for Mirana, not by far, but in a game such as this one, when you go versus PL, Crimson Guard, Shivas, and Radiance are 3 items that your team needs. One, the Wraith King is buying the Radiance. You can see the Crimson Guard by Mirana. Shivas probably won't be bought because they don't have a true carrier, but eventually maybe on someone.
See if it ever comes out. Pressure onto the tier 1 tower mid. You've got some heroes nearby for T1. Mikoto leading the charge with Hyde as well as the rest of the team behind him. Dream Coil used on Whitemon once again. They've got the Waning Rift. He does have Static Storm, which he will drop down as well as the Kinetic Field. But it's not on anyone.
They're managing to find these position 5 pickoffs. Meanwhile, they use Rolling Thunder, Dream Coil, everything that they have, Kotal ulti, right? So it's not really that worth it for them. Static Storm has been used, but you want better kills.
Crew being recalled top as he continue to find some space to farm. He goes away from the Manta, over to the Sanjin Yasha, as well as queuing up that Heart. Necro 3 picked up for the Beastmaster. See if this is a moment where T1 want to hook up and make something happen.
I'm actually very surprised that they aren't making more moves than they are. But they're also satisfied by their chances from mid-game, late-game. Here we go, the first push of tier 1 mid.
Use Moonlight Shadow, they'll take away these sentries, take away the vision up on the cliff before. And look to get the tier 1. They've got skeletons and creeps all pushing in. Arrow thrown blindly up the steps, not landing. They get the tier 1 tower, they'll back away. They use Moonlight Shadow for that.
Okay, so the Moonlight Shadow thing was Dragonite is lurking around with Blink Dagger. And if you see that puck moving out the boundaries, you can jump him, kill him. It's nice. Is it the worst thing that you waste Moonlight Shadow? No, it's not. It's not that big of an ulti. It's not that big of a deal.
Necro 3 for the Beastmaster. We'll see what the Q's up coming in next. Finishes off the wand. Gets a clarity sent over.
They're ready. The halberd is almost completed on the Wraith King. Once you have that, there's just so many ways to make this PL miss and make his illusions useless. The Crimson Guard is completed and Mirana about to go the way.
It's a little while out. Blink Dragon Tail coming through as well as the arrow plus Static Storm gets committed. FBZ falls prey to the tier 1 T1.
Well, the tier 1 also fell prey to them, yeah. That mid lane, and now Rosh will too. You do have some strong heroes around the Rosh pit, but how do you approach it? That's the problem. This Yep. Beastmaster is giving a lot of vision as well, so it's hard.
Have a couple hawks on the high ground in a triangle, but instead giving a lot of vision. Nobody coming over. Looks like they'll just concede this despite the fact that it feels so slow.
JaCkky is the one that picks it up, just in case his mana gets burned, right? You don't have that shard yet.
This will buy him enough time to get to that shard, right?
Yeah, better safe than sorry. I mean, he needs, what, 500 gold? He gets that 500 gold from these bounties and 1 extra creep wave, so...
I'll take that.
So he should have it very soon.
Let's see if he buys out on that first or the blink dagger. I think having the Aegis, he might just go to the blink dagger and then go the shot after, right?
That's also a fair point. Having the Aegis sometimes.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Have the Hawk, there's the glimpse, kinetic field, blinding light, and they'll get the primal roar to finish off this Coddle. But I think that's maybe a little bit of what Coddle was hoping for. He gets the blinding light, making sure that he tries to TP out. If you want to get me, you have to use primal roar.
Yeah, you're hoping to live, right? To TP out and make their efforts wasted, but if you bait out one big ulti, that's also really good. This Kotal is one of the reasons why. Oh,
Dyer's
stun.
bottom tower is under
Or nothing.
attack.
This Kotal is also one. Boom, have a fighting chance because he's moving from one side of the map to the other,
Dyer's
recalling
bottom
PL,
tower has fallen.
allowing him to keep up with the Wraith.
Radiant's top tower
Obviously,
is
they're
under
respawning
attack.
very far behind. They're
Dyer's
7k
bottom
down.
tower is under attack. Radiant
This is in a game that feels like Mikoto's popping off it all. He's got no kills, no jabs, no 3 assists, playing pretty defensively. And mobility and defense are his items so far.
I mean, who do you kill on the side of T1? They're all sticking together. The 2 supports that you can kill, itemized so you can. Like this one has a Crimson Guard, you can't even burst her down.
Full Crimson ready to go. Pressure on the tier 1 tower. Frost Shield placed on the tier 2 again. They are starting to rotate in. They've got the waiting Wraith as well as the illusory over on the Wraith King, but that's not stopping JaCky. It's actually tier 1 that are coming through. Between this tier 2 and tier 3, they use this Dream Coil and the Chain. A lot of damage being done. JaCky ends up losing that first life. He still has that Aegis to work with though. They'll get the kill on FGC. They took a Pangolier and now they'll start to try and back off, but Blank, Waning Rift as well as the Illusory Orb. Some damage on a Kuku as well as JaCky, but nothing's doing. They get the reincarnation out of the hands of the Wraith King, but he still has that 8.
Yeah, they didn't really get what they wanted. Dragonite would have been a much, much better pick-off. Yeah, they're showing teeth a little bit on the side of Boom.
Yeah.
They're no pushover after all. When they have their ultis, they can still be scary.
Wraith King actually building into the AC for the blink that he wanted to get.
This is-
Shards that are available.
This is mostly aimed at the matchup that he's facing. AC overall is an amazing item on Wraith King, but when you get this like AC Halberd Radiance combination, PL stops being a problem for yourself. Like, he mostly can just kill your and clean up your teammates, but pretty much never you.
What are the answers? It's such a struggle to ask that question because they're so far behind.
Yeah, they just need to split the map and hope that T1 makes mistakes, because how long will they be able to stay in this disciplined formation in which they're playing all together without being picked off with all the right items at the same place at the same time?
Shadows.
It's hard
Radiant's
to say,
bottom
really.
tower is under attack.
Hyde. For
Mid lane, Hyde. Should be a kill.
Karl shows up out of the Moonlight Shadow. A couple right clicks, free fire, and a Dragon Tail to his name, but Kuku wipes that with the Wild Axes.
Yeah, it's just what did Black say? 95%, 5%.
Dream Coil down, that's onto the Mirana with the Rolling Thunder. Do they have the damage to kill this Mirana with the silence? There's nowhere for Xepher to go. And eventually they'll go back into the trees. TP away. Drew though hit with the Dragon Tail. The rest of the team is already TP'd out. Doppelganger. Finding some distance here.
JaCky.
Drew on the run. JaCky's gets
Radiant's
baited by an illusion. He had the right one. He charged up the stun, and I think maybe thought the other one was the right one.
Maybe Skelly's baited him or something like that.
Yeah, they all attacked the illusion.
Yeah, no, not sure what happened there because his teammates were also pinging out the right one.
They're all chasing the right one.
And now Aegis has been reclaimed. Boom overall, that move, they made it well. They killed off the Mirana, even though they used a couple of ultis. They didn't lose anything afterwards. And now the puck has Lincolns too. So that's what I was talking about earlier. try and get these pick-offs on these supports.
Right. Getting another recall in. Guys, bottom silent committed. Karl on the run. BKB gets forced out, and now Karl is safe to leave, but is he going to leave? Rolling Thunder from FBZ, that'll run out. Back to form is Karl, out of the Elder Dragon form.
Yeah, you're thinking about his itemization as well.
Mikoto going aggressive, has the Dream Coil, and DK, he's dead. Illuminate comes out from Hyde. Karl just away from his team too far.
Away from his team and also without the BKB. He felt a little bit he was a little bit reckless there, right? Like you think that you'll be able to farm because they'll back off. They don't back off, you die. A little bit too greedy.
Illusion!
This is a rough death for Karl. It just felt like he could have BKB'd him back.
Yeah, he could have. 100%. He just expected, okay, they won't chase. I'm fine here. It's my triangle. Teammates will follow up, but no one was near enough. What I mentioned earlier, he's itemizing into the Mjolnir. That's also problematic for PL. You have the Mjolnir procs, you have Breathe Fire as well, reducing the damage output of everything. So.
Will it be enough to get through this part of the PL?
I think they do have enough damage. It's just difficult to lock him down. If you can lock him down, if you can isolate him with, let's say, Static Storm, Roar, then you have enough follow-up. Look at these heroes. Every single one has some sort of control on the side of T1, right? Every single one.
There's the heart for Drew.
For the dead.
It's a big power spike for him as well. Sadly, not a lot of damage.
10k lead, but I will say I'm starting to feel a lot of confidence for Boom.
Really?
I think so. I think just that kill on Karl, the amount of farm this Phantom Lancer's getting, like, Mikoto's starting to get some farm to make something happen as well. And bottom,
Dire's middle tower is under
Xepher
attack.
down to about half health. Blink away there from the Pangolier. They've got Mikoto to back him up just in case.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, that was Dream Coil used as well. They didn't manage to kill off the Mirana. I love how they're finding these really irrelevant pick-offs or attempts to make a pick-off to which T1 has to answer, and because of that, PL has a free game on the other side of the map. Because you're being aggressive, like, even if you don't get a kill, it's good.
Opening up that space, glimpse into the Static Storm, no by Hyde. Press the Foolish Staff before he's trapped in, but unfortunately not quick enough. Almost have this Ags on 2, and Roche is gonna be back relatively soon.
Yeah, in 1 minute and 30 seconds. 1.5 minutes, Roche will be up, so if you're T1, that's your next objective. You don't really have to do a lot. Yeah, you don't have to force much.
Look up.
Dire's top tower
Find
is under
Mikoto
attack.
yet, though.
Yeah, you see the game plan, right? The puck just creep skipping. Kotl, as soon as he respawns, he's going to run to the other side of the map, do the same.
Look at that, a courier coming over, might have spotted the puck. Don't think they get the kill anyway. They're just Drew by himself. They know which one it is. Ooh, into the trees now. Arrow, Doppelganger back into the lane, and the recall from Hyde. Drew out in time.
And that was, yeah, that was more luck than skill, let's put it that way, because Drew was really deep for an extended period of time. He needed to go back a little bit earlier, but with Hyde respawning and with that arrow missing, they get the recall. Really well played by Hyde as well, clicking that recall onto the PL.
Making sure that his PL has a chance, because TPing out is dangerous there.
It's such a hard spell to press as well.
I believe was spotted late, looking for the Dragon Tail. Drew goes down, Rolling Thunder comes in, they've got the Moonlight Shadow, Pangolier that's going to be used onto the Pangolier with Chain Frost bouncing around onto JaCky as well as Karl, but they've both gotten away.
Mikoto, he's coming in. He has that ulti.
There's the Dream Coil on 2 as well as the Silence. The attention Drew on a Drew. Static Storm, it's in. Drew in trouble. Finish the game. It's going to lock up the Wraith King, but it won't save Drew's life. They'll look over at Khezcute, get themselves a second. Both these heroes have buyback. Mikoto in pretty deep. But not far enough away. Karl right on him, waiting for him to blink. Looks over to the side, and he's too elusive.
Way too elusive.
Wow.
And that Dream Call was pretty solid, right? You're catching 2 supports. All you need is your PL to follow up the Dream Call and clean them up.
Yeah.
Just kill the supports. It's very simple. The problem is you can't go through the enemy's sideline, right? You can't go through the Wraith King, you can't go through the Dragonite, the Static Storm, the Kinetic Field. It's just such a difficult field game right now.
Everything trying to help him stay alive, help him value in these fights, start to get that damage off. It's just not enough. Now, Mikoto only doing so much, or can only do so much.
And
Drew gets caught anyway.
you were talking about this PL and how he's becoming a menace. What about the Wraith King that's sitting on 21,000? How do you go through him? You know, he's a bigger problem for Boom.
Yeah, and Whitemon dies to Mikoto. So Mikoto, again, getting a pick off, but it's not...
He has Ags now.
Yeah, it gets into the axe, but it's not a pick off of really any sort of like feeling for T1. They can just let that go. That doesn't need to be like, oh, now we have to rotate, now we have to make something happen. Like, Disruptor dies, he's back in 30 seconds. We'll wait for him to be up, he's got Static Storm, we'll go again.
So as long as that happens, like you just said it, as long as they let it go, that's the key word, because sometimes they don't let it go, and because of that they find themselves using their ultis around their own tier 2 when they could be pressuring and pushing, right? So just discipline.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bottom tier 2 getting pressured, and the pressure will make it crumble. Not turning into diamonds though, turning into rubble.
No, Diamond is the outpost. They'll pick up afterwards. They had the tier 2 before on the top lane, so
Invisibility.
Really that important.
Yeah, they have both outposts right now. While until
Dire's
that
top tower is under attack.
30 or 40-minute mark.
You can see Whitemon with that Invis room probably tries to ward up the high ground. Maybe here a little bit deeper
Radiant's
observers
middle
will be
tower is
placed.
under attack. Dire's top tower
That's
is under
being built by
attack.
the DK. He's only
Radiant's middle
750
tower
away
has
from
fallen.
that. You've got power spikes aplenty coming in for T1 still.
Going to be the Black Dragon. That's actually Black's first nickname or something. Like,
Dire's top tower
when I was
is under
signing
attack.
in here on Steam, it had Black Dragon nickname before.
Kodo. JaCkky, like we said, building up towards that Abyssal. DK after this creep wave will have Axe.
Yeah, I was thinking the team might get the Mjolnir on the Wraith King. You have one already on Dragonite, but it's not that bad to have
Dire's
two.
top tower is under attack.
You can see that they're
Radiant's
slowly
top tower
choking
is
them
under
inside
attack.
their own base.
Yeah.
They can't get out anymore.
Falling further and further behind in terms of net worth because they're choked in. And now JaCkky, or Spearhead going into tier 3.
All teams have fallen, and in a situation such as this one, if you're Boom, the only way you get out is with a smoke. Or if they push high ground, obviously, and you take some good engagement.
Easy. The rest of the team all here over mid. There it is. There's the Axe Dragon coming in. Joey Rua will be proud of the Black Dragon coming out. JaCkky getting low already. Needs to be careful while Karl hits away at the tower.
That's the Pango with Enchanted Quiver, by the way. So he deals a surprising amount of damage every time.
Maybe T1 feeling
Radiant's
it too difficult to go
bottom
for that,
tower
even
is
with an
under
Aegis.
Yeah, they could have forced it. They still have 1 minute to work with on the Aegis, so I would like to see them use that advantage, but when you're holding the whole map the way they are, you don't truly have to do a lot. Just stand on the triangle, farm the hard camp and the ancient and prevent them from going out. But they are smoking still.
Ooh, they got the scan. They know where the Dire are.
Look at them just pushing high ground. This is such a crazy play. I like this a lot, actually.
Go for the high ground. An opportunity to get 2-3. That's exactly what they do. The in-waning rift as well as the illusion trying to do enough damage on the JaCkky. Is locking them up. Again, still working with the Sage. The time is getting close though. Pangolier is out. JaCkky though on the run, and I believe he has that Aegis for 15 more seconds.
Good. Going to have that reclaimed right now, and that region kicking in. But yeah, that high ground push, it was a very funky, interesting, cheeky play coming from T1. Because usually when the team smokes up, you meet them on the triangle, right? Like you can kind of see when they're smoking up, or at least anticipate it. They anticipated it so well, they just rushed straight high ground.
Wait, Dragon Tail looking for the Pangolier, the arrow that falls up. Stack Storm also committed for this. They're going to kill on FBZ. Sending illusions forward, and not enough though to stop them from going towards this Rax. Sounds on the heroes, that's not even like it's enough, and now they'll move their aggression towards bottom. They fought back on FBZ though.
He brings a lot of control. This Pangolier with his Rolling Thunder, with all the disarms, they respect the buyback, they move back on the bottom lane. They also, the form has been committed, right? And you can wait a little bit to have the new one of cooldown. Will they wait though?
Haste.
Doesn't look like it.
Again, that talent, that shard, sorry, on Disruptor.
Strike on the Wraith became that much more strong.
He also, by the way, has Elven tuning, so now you have so many different ways of evading PL.
The extra evasion, the attack speed, the movement speed, all there with the Elven tunic.
Yep.
He's going into the BKB next. Getting a minute and a half from minimum respawn on Roche.
Drew is a little bit... Yeah, he just bought the wrong item. Oh, I don't know what exactly he's doing. He's waiting for his Skadi gold, but... Is it on the... No, it's not. Doesn't have a TP.
Now he does.
Now he does, yeah. He's gonna buy it with... Yeah, he should buy it with a courier. He's getting down.
Take us.
I guess he miscalculated the flow because he was spamming the buy next to the secret shop, and then he just bought the javelin because it's 100 gold less. Yeah,
He's got the gold. He's got the gold now.
Radiant's top
just
tower
needs
is
to
under
actually
attack.
buy it. Probably would be better for him to buy it on the dire
side of the
yeah,
map.
dire side, because yeah, the courier is...
Spell Prism for the dire side.
Of course, Dragonite.
Ooh, Spell Prism for both sides. Overwhelming blink for the DK.
Just another way of dealing with the illusions. The AoE is really, really nice from Overwhelming Blink. It's one of those items that we really didn't value a lot. Still don't, but in some situations it's good.
It's also, as he hits level 25, he's got the 1.8 times Dragon Ball each armor for that 25 talent.
It's just 50-ish armor, man. 43.
Karl is going to go through the top tier 3. Go for the set of racks next. Disarm. Up in, but he's stuck over in the back. They've got the Rolling Thunder bouncing up the Disruptor as well as this Mirana, but Mikoto was caught. He got hit by the Static Storm. Came cross bouncing back and forth. Kills 9 are already dead. Both of them will buy back, but Mikoto doesn't have buyback for him. Trying to fight 1v4. Who will try to make something happen, but T1, they're not really getting too hurt. The only one they lose is the Disruptor, and Drew just doesn't seem like he has the damage to take out these heroes.
Fake out. tickle them maybe.
Yeah.
Like he dealt no damage. Yeah, he's not doing any damage. They just itemized really well against him. Also the heroes on their own are decent versus PL. I really don't see them ever scaling to the amount of damage that's needed to take down T1. It's still possible, but there we go.
In the air, and now they'll catch the Beastmaster.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Mistakes happen. You never give up. You play until the end. Nice pick off. Maybe they can move into the pit.
Ag's blessing. Going in for Xepher. Xepher with the weave. Gets some distance. Now the kinetic field doppelganger out of it. He'll run towards Karl. Karl's kind of disconnected from the rest of his team, but he's got the BKB, the chain cross, bouncing Khezcute and Hyde are dead again. They both fall back already. They'll get the Dragon Tail on the Drew as well as the arrow. Phantom Lancer in trouble. Starstorm hits. There's the kill on the Drew. Gone for 84 seconds. No buyback available on this Phantom Lancer.
They can decide now to go either into the pit or just push high ground. He has no buyback. You saw that item completed just a little bit earlier. The last time we pushed Puck and Pango. This is a difficult shot for them to defend versus the other dragon.
Dragon on FBC. There's the dream quill on the two, but it's not going to matter. FBC's already dead. And it's Puck against the world. And well, those just tap out. Call GG. Puck won't even try for it. And T1 will take the series over Esports 6-1. Well done by T1 to take that game. Looked very easy for them. And eventually, boom, just run out of options.
Yeah, they definitely did improve when it